Hello, 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 my friends. I hope you are all doing well out there. I am wearing this rather unique hat. I really like it, really. It's kind of becoming. I'm wearing this right now in honor of two different people. One being the star of the movie that I am going to review here for you in a moment, Tiny Tim. And how many of you don't remember Tiny Tim? If you saw Tiny Tim once, he was an unforgettable character. Equally as unforgettable is my son, Dennis. Dennis Jr., Dennis 2, Dennis the sequel, whatever you want to call him. He's as equally unforgettable, but for different reasons. So this is the only clown type hat that I had, and since Tiny Tim plays a clown in this particular movie, I thought it might be applicable to wear this today. Before I get into reviewing the movie for you, though, I'm going to show you a somewhat edited version of the movie trailer, and it's edited because there was a lot of blood in the trailer, but what would you expect from a movie called Blood Harvest? So let's take a look at that. Review, and then I'll be back with you.
Merv?
Marvelous Mervo at your service.
Oh, God damn, you scared the shit out of me.
Marvelous Mervo at your service. Marvelous Mervo, that's my name. And I'll do my best to entertain you with magic and laughter, 'cause that's my game. I can light up the sky each day at sunrise and darken the clouds when it's time to rain. That's some of the magic I have mastered. I'll show you the rest when you call my name. I wanna make the whole world laugh, even if the laugh's on me. Oh, I paint a smile upon my face, there for everyone to see. So put a smile on your face like your old friend Mervo whenever you're feeling alone and blue. Like Marvelous Mervo, you'll soon discover a smile can do magical things for you. Oh, you're happy to see me. People are always happy to see me. Marvelous Mervo at your service.
So recently, while I was talking with my son Dennis on the phone, he recommended that I check out a movie titled Blood Harvest. And he warned me, though, that while he recommended that I watch it, that Blood Harvest was perhaps singularly the worst movie that he had ever watched. So after giving a recommendation of that sort, I had no choice. I had to watch it. What else could I do? Now, I must be honest, when I saw the movie starred Tiny Tim, I figured it probably would have been pretty bad. I had a decades-long despisement of Tiny Tim that goes way back to the night that he married Miss Vicki in 1969. I think it was on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. I watched Johnny Carson probably every night, and that's one episode out of all those that stands out in my mind. Was the night that he married her, and she looked so young and he looked so old. And but so anyways, based on that, I nearly skipped Blood Harvest altogether, and I would have missed out on what I call, in all seriousness, Dennis, a cinematic masterpiece of the weird, nay, the curious, and the kooky. Things that I love, things that are frosting on the cake of this life. So I call it a cinematic masterpiece, as I said, and it is a tribute to the B genre of the 1950s and 1960s horror movies. And so I grabbed an ice-cold Diet Coke and a couple of special pain-relieving gummies, yes I did, and I sat back to watch the movie, which I was prepared to hate based on what my son told me. Well, instead I was in for the most delightful delightful surprise. I could not see how anyone, especially my own son, could not see the somewhat wholesome virtue in this horror movie. And in watching, I came to a new understanding and appreciation of Tiny Tim. And indeed, this might sound contradictory, but the movie was so bad that it was good. It was like a masterpiece, a sort of cornucopia of creepy and kooky things, which I delight in. Now, let me share with you the storyline, and then I will tell you about the cast and the crew of this delightful movie. So let's get at it. Tiny Tim appears in his first, and I believe was his only, dramatic role in this taut horror drama. A beautiful young girl, Jill Robinson, returns to her peaceful rural hometown only to find her life has been turned upside down. The house that she grew up in has been defaced, her parents are missing, and the whole town hates her father, the bank supervisor, who had foreclosed on many of the local farms. Only Marvelous Mervo, played powerfully by Tiny Tim, seems happy to see her. He wanders around town dressed in a clown suit with a clown's permanent grin grotesquely painted on his face. Somehow it looks natural for him. Marvello's brother tries to rekindle his love affair with Jill, which doesn't work out well for him, as she was, if you'll pardon me for putting it so bluntly, she was banging somebody else. So then, one by one, those closest to her are slaughtered like cattle, and I do mean literally like cattle. That is not just an expression. They were hung upside down from the rafters of a barn, and their throats slashed, and the blood was harvested onto the barn floor and the hay and the straw and the rubble that laid there. So a surprise ending, though, is in store that I really didn't expect at first. It reveals who the madman is, and a very unlikely savior. Now, I ask you, who could possibly not find Tiny Tim in that clown outfit? And more than slightly deranged is the iconic image of the clown that haunts all of our dreams. TT, as I like to call him sometimes now, Tiny Tim, goes one better, making him the ultimate iconic clown of our nightmares. I wouldn't want to run into him. Why? Well, his singing voice adds a lot to his persona in the movie. His singing voice, at its best, is fodder for a horror movie. Who can ever forget Tiptoe Through the Tulips? I believe Dennis said that my granddaughter Autumn loves his version of Staying Alive. I would like to hear that sometime. That would be really, really cool. But it is a shame that nobody in this horror humor romp got an Academy Award, and I mean that seriously. And it is even more of an injustice that Tiny Tim did not get a Grammy for his performance of that song, Marvelous Marvello. Awesome and very catchy, as you could tell from the trailer that I just showed you. Now, the man behind the creative magic of the movie was Bill Rebane, who served as producer, director, and cinematographer. And prior to this, he had done movies like The Giant Spider Invasion in 1975 and Twister's Revenge. I expected amazing things in this movie, and Bill Ray something, delivered on that. He didn't disappoint in the least. It took three writers to script this masterpiece. There was William Arthur, who also wrote the aforementioned Twister's Revenge and The Game, which was released in 1984. And also on the writing team were Ben Benon and Chris Valor, whose writing credits I've not found anything. Chris Valor sounds like somebody who would be in a cheap porn movie. But anyways, the lead female actress was Itonia Selchek. I kid you not, Itonia Selchek. What a fascinating name. And she brought the character of Joe Robinson literally to life. She is a bit of an enigma, though, as no excuse me, no information can be found about her prior to the movie or after. She seems to have vanished afterwards. Come on, the movie wasn't that bad, Itonia. It could have been a springboard for you to go on to becoming an A-list actress in movies like The Warrior Women of Wango Bongo or some classic like that. The male lead was played by Dean West, who had also appeared in Twister's Revenge, and the year after Blood Harvest was released. So my recommendation is that you check this movie out. It is free on YouTube, and it is also free on Tubi, and well worth the time to kick back and enjoy. And I must say, I'm delighted my son Dennis told me about this film, even though he doesn't like it and probably thinks I'm a little bit wacko for liking it. He probably will really think I'm wacko after he sees my hat. I was going to save this for Halloween next, but this seemed like a more appropriate use of the hat, and I found something much, much better for Halloween. So that's pretty cool. I'm anxious to bring that one to you. So I hope you all enjoyed this this review of Blood Harvest with Tiny Tim, and please remember, I love each and every one of you on the other side of that monitor. You are a blessing to my heart and to my life. Again, God bless you. Love you much. See you soon. Hasta la vista, baby.